ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com with Elijah Schmidt behind the cameras and Dan Courtwright. I'm Sean Kellerman. Thanks for joining us here as we get prepped for the big game on Saturday, Kansas and Arizona. We are going to relive one more thing from the Big Monday victory that improved Bill Self to 41-0 on Big Monday at Allen Fieldhouse, and that's Kelvin Sampson press conference. Yeah. We teased this a little bit earlier in the week, and you know, God bless Sam Lance, bless his heart.
Bless his heart.
But he kind of didn't.
He laid into him a little bit. Old Johnny Jayhawk.
It wasn't the greatest day at Allen Fieldhouse for Johnny Jayhawk. Sam Lance, who does great work. Friend of the show.
We had him on. I don't think we had him on this one.
Great work for a field of 68. But man, Kelvin Sampson did not take to one of his questions. We still want to go behind enemy lines and hear from Coach Sampson as the Cougars fell to the Jayhawks Monday night. We'll get that for you next segment. We're going to open talking Kansas women's basketball, though, and massive victory for the women last night on senior night at Allen Fieldhouse over number 20 Texas Tech, a game they absolutely had to have as they're firmly on the bubble. We'll talk a little women's bracketology as well before we hear from a guy who is up for the Hall of Fame in 2026, Kelvin Sampson, post-game KU Houston. I guess that would officially, Dan, put a bow on the Big Monday victory over the Cougars, and then we focus squarely on Arizona. We'll do a little bit of a Arizona preview as well. Tomorrow, opening segment, of course, we'll preview the Wildcats in a deep dive type thing. Dan, have we decided on a draft yet for our Thursday fantasy draft that we haven't done in a while?
Okay, yeah, we started the show. We didn't pick one.
We have not finalized. We're still
okay. Let's brainstorm some. I said presidents to play basketball.
I just don't know a lot.
I mean, one overall. You're going. I mean, you gotta be Lincoln. She's like 6'4", 6'5",
right,
whatever.
Basketball's not only height, man.
I'm aware. I know. I mean, I think like
Nixon would get drafted.
Bush the second could be a scrappy little point guard.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean,
Taft could be a nice power forward.
I would think Andrew Jackson would be a kind of a sixth man type.
Yeah, he's got shooting guard written all over him, almost like a.
But he's kind of the fireball off the bench.
That's the thing. Yeah. You know, he's kind of a, I don't know. I don't want to say like Tyrell Reed, because Tyrell Reed actually played a little bit. But yeah, I can see what you're saying though. He brings some energy, maybe like a Remy Martin kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, who comes off the bench.
The similarities are there.
That's fair.
We're not going to do this draft.
Chester
by the way,
Arthur. Okay. All right. Well,
if we did football,
we'll do this right now. All right.
What about William Taft? Football.
I have a bunch of different ones. What about NFL quarterbacks to play basketball?
We've done that before.
Have we?
We have. We have. Yeah. We got to go with a new one.
What about NBA players to play football?
I'm okay with that. They were talking about that actually on ESPN the other day. I'm okay with that. ESPN players,
superpowers,
or NBA players.
What's superpowers? Just regular, just superpowers. No. Okay.
I don't like that.
Cups.
Cups is good. Do we do top 10 cups though?
We can do a draft of cups.
A draft of cups. Okay. You want to do cups or you want to do the NBA thing?
Let's save the NBA thing. That feels like a summer segment.
Okay,
let's do
that's
cups.
Fair. All right, we're going to do a draft of cups, I guess, as our fantasy draft. It'll be an abbreviated one because then we're going to welcome in the voice of the Kansas Jayhawks, Brian Hanni. He is going to be here in studio before he heads out to Tucson tomorrow. I have to imagine that's his favorite trip.
Yeah.
I mean,
why?
Let's see. We didn't go there for basketball last year, but they did go to Arizona for football this year, and then last year ASU for football.
Yeah.
So I don't think they've done the extended stay swing. So I'm excited to hear from him about the however many nights, 4 nights they're going to be.
Nice little vacation for BH.
I think what they'll do is they'll go to Tucson. Brian and Steve and Gurley and everybody, they'll go to Tucson tomorrow. And then I think right after the game Saturday, they'll go to Tempe. And then I think they'll stay in Tempe until after the game Tuesday, which is not a bad place to be for a few days.
No. Also, you know what they can do? I don't know how far away it is. They could hit up a Royal Spring Training game in one of the days between.
Yes.
Why wouldn't they, right?
Of course. Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
Maybe I'll bring that up to him.
Yeah. Thinking outside the box.
Is Hanni, but is Hanni like a Yankees fan or something? Like he strikes me as like.
Is that because the Patriots
He's a Patriots fan. He's a Yankees fan.
Yeah.
He's a
Lakers.
I don't know. Yeah, Lakers.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I'll let you ask him, but I'm not sure on that front. Following Hanni, we are going to talk a little bracketology. I have calmed down a little bit since the opening segment yesterday when right before I went on air, I saw CBS Sports updated bracketology, which they do a great job. And I applaud them often for updating it daily. That's what I want to see. And yes, this is a stab at Joey Brackets from ESPN because the dude just doesn't update it enough.
Sure.
After any game at this point of the season, I want it to be updated. I don't care if it's Santa Clara against San Francisco. If Santa Clara wins, then okay. Are they a slightly better 11? I want to know. But anyway, CBS today has put Kansas back on the 3. Okay. I don't know what happened other
Who's
than
the CBS guy.
I'm assuming it's an oversight. It used to be Jerry Palm, but now it's like a group of guys.
Okay, that's right.
So who knows? Again, hoping it was just an oversight.
So a collective mind put Kansas at a 4 seed.
At least for a day.
That's weird.
At least for one day. February 25th. I will remember it.
Well, Joey Brackets, he put KU at the second 3 seed today, I believe.
Yes. So that 10 overall, you were telling me.
Yes.
Okay. So that's good.
That's
again, that's comfortable where you're at.
Okay.
You lose at Arizona, and you're probably still on the 3, maybe a little shaky, but you feel comfortable knowing that you're confident in your last 2 games against ASU and K-State. And we'll see. The Big 12 tournament is just going to be – it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very difficult. If Kansas goes in as the 3 seed, I mean, Kansas can be anywhere from the 2 to 5, realistically. And if you're the 2 –
5 is possible, but that's like a catastrophic collapse.
Yes.
That means you lose to Arizona State.
I think you would have to lose 2 because Iowa State and Texas Tech are facing each other. So one of those teams automatically has 5 losses.
True. That's a good point.
And if you say it's Tech, then Iowa State is going to be underdogs against Arizona, so they would have 5 losses. If Kansas loses to Arizona, they would have 5 losses, but Kansas has beaten both of those teams, Iowa State and Tech, so they would be the higher seed.
That's true.
So 5 seed is unlikely for Kansas, but still possible. But if you're the 4 or the 5, you're facing the 4 or the 5. Right. 5 has to beat the 12 first, of course. But if you're the 3, you're facing the 6, which probably BYU. It might be UCF. And then if you're the 2, probably BYU or UCF. So it's not going to be easy no matter what seed you are. If you get the 1 seed, which will only happen if Arizona happens to lose twice and Kansas wins out, then you're facing a slightly worse team, which we can pull that up and look at it. But yeah, Kansas still in good shape. The 8 seed would be somewhere in the West Virginia, maybe Cincinnati realm of things, but a lot to be determined. Point is, it's going to be difficult to even win 1 game in Kansas City. You lose to Arizona, win your next 2. I think you're still firmly on the 3, but you probably got to win at least 1 in Kansas City to feel comfortable about that, despite the fact that Kansas has a lot of really good wins. We're going to close out the show talking KU baseball. They won last night in Minneapolis. They did not score 29 runs, but they scored enough to get it done. Shout out to Brandon Perrell and everybody KU baseball for keeping us abreast on that. No game today for KU baseball, but they've got 3 beginning tomorrow. Kind of a weird 4-game series in 5 days. Dom Vagley on the slab tomorrow for KU. Dan, let's start.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to do something first. A gift from me to you.
I'm honored.
Because you filled in for me yesterday. That was very nice of you. And yesterday was also your birthday.
It was. Shout out to Elijah Schmidt, by the way, who hooked me up with my favorite candy and my favorite drink.
Man, how organic is this? Our audio cut out, and so we have to do this again. But I got you a gift.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what it is
for your birthday. Yeah,
I'm excited.
It's amazing.
Tell me about this bag.
It was. I saw that bag and I immediately thought of you. I know you like daisies.
That's very, very cute.
I believe those are daisies. You would know better than I would. Are those daisies?
They are flowers, white ones.
That's what they are.
White flowers.
Sure, that makes sense. It's of the time too. Everything is changed, like springtime, Easter stuff.
Yes.
I walked into Walgreens.
I'm surprised you didn't just buy a single bow.
I should have put a bow on it.
Yes.
What am I doing?
Oh my God, put a bow on it. Got it right there. Well, I can't wait to see what's in here. I have a feeling it's going to be a couple shooters of Johnny Walker or something like that. Look at this.
No.
How about that? Just what I need. A NOS energy drink.
Just what the doctor
Shout
ordered.
out, by the way. I'm drinking a Monster Zero Sugar right now. This is hot take. This is better than the white one. I like the white one. I think the low carb one is overrated. This one tastes more like the regular.
I'm like typically a black coffee guy, but I do like a white Monster every now and then, or the blue ones that are also zero sugar. They're blue. It's called Blue Hawaiian because blue is my second favorite flavor.
Blue is your second favorite flavor. Hey,
my first one is free.
That.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I'm gonna need this NOS to help me get through.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Last year I also got Sean an energy drink.
Yes.
Guess what I'm getting him next year?
You'll never know.
You'll never know. You'll never know. Man, how old are you? You're 35?
35.
Welcome to the back end of your 30s, dude.
I know. No, is that how it works? Or do I have to get through 35?
30, 31, 32,
yes,
33.
Because once you turn
34.
So you're 34.
So you have 5 years until you turn 35.
Yes, so
now you're on the back 5.
So now that it's day 2,
you're on the back
I'm
5.
Definitely on the back 5.
You're past halftime.
The back 9,
You're past. You're out of the locker room.
I'm telling you, man. I can throw them back with the best of them.
You don't look a day over 34.
That's surprising because I did not sleep last night. Shout out to Claire, my baby.
What'd you do? I mean, did you go out and celebrate?
We did. No, we actually ended up over at Johnny's Tavern, West Lawrence.
Great local sports bar. One of 13 locations from Raymore to Topeka.
14 locations now. Wichita location has opened. Shout out, by the way, to our friends over at ESPN Wichita 92.3 FM who join us occasionally here on Rock Chalk Sports.
So you just went to Johnny's.
Yep, throwbacks.
Took the girls.
Threw back some Busch Lights. Yeah, man. And Claire pooped like in the car seat. So I picked her up immediately and took her to the bathroom to change her diaper.
Of course.
And then as I was like, she was screaming the whole. She's not like a major screamer or anything as a baby, but she just lost her mind. I'm like, oh my God. Like we were just trying to go and and then as I'm changing her poopy diaper, she pees all over her newborn outfit and then like the changing table back there. So at some point I had to. I had to call Caitlin back. I'm like, dude, because Caitlin, like most moms, is very prepared. Like we got extra outfits and we got all that. So
sure.
But Claire was just losing her mind. So I switched with Caitlin, went back out and started coloring with Ava out there. But it was an interesting
what a
thing.
nice little tap out. Yeah.
It's like when you go. The other thing is when you go to restaurants with kids, it's like you have so much stuff.
Yeah.
Because you have to have. It's not like you go sit at a table and then. You have, maybe your fiance has her purse or something.
Sure.
Like you got your car seat, you got your diaper bag, you got like all the entertainment things for Ava, which is, like Play-Doh and crayons and all that. And then they bring over a sling for you to put the car seat in. And then, you got the menus everywhere and then you got a bottle and it's just, there's so much stuff going on.
Do you have a tablet for her? Is she a tablet kid?
Oh my God. It is the cutest thing ever. We don't have a tablet for her. We have this little thing that she's actually not a tablet kid. She watches TV, but no, otherwise she's pretty good at playing otherwise. But she has this thing that you can color on and it changes colors and then you hit a button and it resets. But she calls it a tablet.
Tablet.
It's so cute.
That's fun.
It is the cutest thing. Where's my tablet? So now Caitlin and I always say tablet.
Dude, I'll tell you this. Like yesterday, I was with my entire family.
Yes.
And there are a lot of babies and a lot of children.
Yeah.
And it was just a circus.
Really?
I mean, there is probably, oh gosh, I'm trying to think. There's probably 10 kids under the age of 8.
Oh my God.
There. Yeah. And running around this little local watering hole called Four Corners. Shout out to Four Corners, best burgers maybe in the world. I know exactly. And it was just like everyone had their bags and like bottles and binkies and coloring things.
Yeah.
And, there's tablets and different. It was just a absolute like night. You couldn't have a conversation. It was just insane.
Yeah, totally, man. That's how it goes. But yeah, every birthday is going to be a little bit different, and this is just one of those.
Sure.
But very special night. Then my wife got me some cookie cake.
So I would say this is. Was this a combined thing, or did you celebrate hers 2 days ago and yours yesterday specifically?
We tried to knock, so like we probably shouldn't go out to eat like both nights, but we ended up doing it. We went to. Acapulco, got some Mexican food on Tuesday.
I love Acapulco.
So, yeah, man.
Tell me about this banner, by the way.
Which banner?
The banner.
Oh yeah.
So I saw this on your wife's Instagram story.
So I told Lawrence about this yesterday. But basically,
sorry for all the listeners. I'm new. I wasn't on the show yesterday.
I bought a banner at like the dollar store for Caitlin way back when we started dating that said "Happy Birthday." And at her house, I was able to hang it without her seeing. And then the next morning, she woke up. And then saw it, and then she was able to get it to my house and get it hung the next morning, and for 12 years or however long, but now we live together. Sure. Obviously, it had been for a while, so the
just like moving
tradition,
from one side of the kitchen to the other.
That's exactly what happened.
Is that true?
That's exactly what happened.
That's great.
Sometimes we switch up rooms, but no, I had hung the banner. I think Ava's still confused about our birthdays being back to back.
Sure.
Because I think she thinks when it's mom's birthday one day and dad's birthday the next day, that it's like every day is somebody's birthday.
Right. Yeah.
Like she thought it was going to be her birthday. I
said,
well, your birthday's next, but it's not tomorrow. But yeah, I had hung up the happy birthday sign, and then literally Caitlin, the next morning I woke up and she had hung up the happy birthday sign over here in the kitchen.
That's great.
It was funny, but yeah,
Man.
good stuff.
Oh, well, that's nice. Yeah, I saw it said 12 years that banner's been. Yeah. That's what I saw on Caitlin's stories.
For sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to Caitlin. I know that she's not watching right now.
Yes, absolutely. I will tell her after the fact, off air, of course. That you give her a shout out.
By the way, I know we said we were doing a draft of cups. I might be changing my mind on this.
Okay.
Do you want to do NBA players to play basketball?
I don't care.
Okay.
Whatever we want to do, off the cuff. I will use the break time and when we play Kelvin Sampson to think of the top draft.
What do you think you'd be better at?
I feel like I'm usually low on confidence, but I answer the bell no matter what it is.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I'm gonna have to use the World Wide Web, I think, for some of this.
I feel like cups more suits the way that my brain works, but I feel like to make it fair, and also I think the listeners might like the NBA players.
Let's
to
do
play
NBA
because we've done
NFL players.
KU players to basketball players to play football before,
but not
never
NBA.
NBA. Let's do that one instead. That one feels easier too. There's a lot of guys so we can go through.
I'm good with that.
All right,
Kansas women's basketball.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We're going to talk about after we tell you about Crown Automotive.
Yes.
Dan, on South Iowa and Lawrence.
Crown Automotive over in my neck of the woods out in South Lawrence. Check them out. A whole line of new Toyotas and Volkswagens, Tiguans, Tauruses. They got RAV4s. They got Camrys. Tundras. My fiance's parents bought a Tundra from there. It's a very, very nice truck. So be sure to check them out. CrownAutomotive.com or CrownMotorsVW.com. Very friendly salespeople, a great environment. They'll get you in the car that fits your lifestyle.
CrownAutomotive.com. Kansas women over number 20 Texas Tech last night on senior night. It was 68-59. Dan, the fourth quarter was 20-7 Jayhawks. Laya Canessa hit a huge three. 4 KU players scored in double figures for the Hawks. Nichols had 19, plus she had 5 rebounds and 3 assists. She had also 15 made free throws. She was consistently getting to the line, drawing contact in that fourth quarter. The 15 free throws tied for 5th most in school history for a single game. Jalea Davis, second career double-double. She had 12 and 10. Elle Evans had 11 on her senior night, and Reagan Williams had 10. Kansas now, all of a sudden, that record is looking a lot better. They're 18-11, 8-9 in Big 12 play. They had not beaten a ranked team all year. Their victory in the non-con over Minnesota, the Golden Gophers had been receiving votes, but were not officially ranked. Now KU firmly in the conversation for the NCAA tournament, and I'll tell you where they're at in terms of Charlie Cream's bracketology, but nice seeing the Lady Jayhawks pick up a win on senior night, and one they desperately needed if they want to compete in the big dance. It's not a guarantee. It still would be very helpful if you win at Oklahoma State on Saturday at 5, but a great fourth quarter helps KU get it done.
Yeah, 100%. You know, in Texas Tech, they had a lot of good bigs. They have been on quite a run this year. They were ranked number 20 in the nation. Kansas went down to Lubbock and almost beat them down in Lubbock. And this is one that Kansas absolutely had to have. Obviously, bolstering their record, bolstering their resume to now hopefully get in the NCAA conversation. Right now, they're on the bubble. And you said you talk about Charlie Cream and kind of where he has them. They are right on the bubble, man. I mean, it is a coin flip right now in terms of whether they get in or not. I still think they probably have to win 2 games in the Big 12 to feel comfortable about it. Other than that, there's a lot of things kind of around the nation I think that has to happen in terms of Kansas getting in. By the way, just a weird thing. Only 2 Big 12 teams. 7. I was reading this wrong. 7 Big 12 teams are in the tournament,
field,
projected in the tournament comfortably. I was reading this. It's like a bar graph, and it's sideways, so it looked a little weird. So never mind. I'm not going to bring that up. There's 7 Big 12 teams right now.
Because there's a lot of teams with good records.
Yeah. But no, I thought this game absolutely had to happen. Samaya was great in this one. She had 19, 2 for 7 from the field, 15 of 17 from the free throw line. I mean, she's so good at getting to the free throw line. She's so good at drawing those fouls, and she's She's always in the top 10, it feels like, in the nation in terms of free throws attempted and free throws made. And that's a skill. I mean, that really is a skill, right? I mean, and I wouldn't even say she's like a flopper. I think she's just good at drawing those fouls and good at, getting people to jump whenever she pump fakes and gets to the rim. So Samaya did an excellent job. 15 of her 19 points came from the free throw line. Jalea, second career double-double, like you said, which is insane to even think about because she's always putting up like 20 some odd points, and it feels like she's always raking in rebounds too, but she got 10 rebounds in this one, 2 offensive rebounds, 8 defensive rebounds, 12 points in this one. Not a great shooting performance, I would say, from Jalea, but still a very, very solid defensive effort and, an offensive effort as well. You probably wanted more out of your seniors, I would say. I mean, Lily Meister, she played 15 minutes in this one, actually 14-30, only had 2 points, 1 for 2 from the field. But again, their Texas Tech's front court was really, really good. So can't blame her there. Elle, she came off the bench once again. Kind of surprising that she came off the bench on senior night because they continue to start Libby and then they'll take her out after like 5 minutes and then they'll put in Elle. Elle, she played 33 minutes in this game.
It's working.
It is working.
Kansas
I'll
has
give
been
you
playing
that.
so much better.
Yeah, but she hit 3 threes in this one. She had 11 points. Sanaya Copeland, another senior, she went 2 for 4 from the field, only had 5 points in this one. And then Nadira El Tayeb, program guy, as you like to say, I finished with 0 points. So you probably wanted more out of the seniors. But again, this wasn't one of those games where you could like start like a Chris Tehan, and then all of a sudden you get off to this super hot start. It's like, this is Texas Tech. They're a ranked team. They're coming into your house. You need to play your style of basketball, and that is running the ball through Samaya and Jalea, essentially. Elle, like I said, she did a great job coming off the bench, hitting a few threes, but you probably wanted more out of your seniors, and hopefully Lily Meister will kind of get it going, and hopefully Kansas is able to finish this out and then go to the Big 12 tournament. In theory, you win a couple of games, all of a sudden you're comfortably in.
Maybe,
you think you're comfortably in now?
I don't know, but you have a great chance at Oklahoma State. So I don't know what's going to be needed until the results of that one. But for what it's worth, and they haven't updated the women's bracketology, but Kansas in the most recent one, which was before this game, was first 4 out. They were the third team in the first 4 out. And this is a top 20 win. So not a lot of other teams are getting a chance to do this. When you look at the Big 12 tournament, though, to your point, Dan, you want to at least get a bye. Yeah. Kansas still has an opportunity for that. You look in the top 6 teams in the conference, spearheaded by TCU, who's 14-3. The top 6 teams all have 6 or fewer losses. Then there's the 8 or 9 loss teams, and Kansas is in that grouping. And then teams with 11 losses or more. So if you look at that, Kansas will either be in the Big 12 tournament the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12 seed. So there's still a lot of options, but there's some separation from the top 6 who have 6 or fewer losses and the bottom 4 who have 11 or more losses. Kansas, we know, has the tiebreaker over K-State, who's also 8 and 9. Kansas has the tiebreaker head-to-head against BYU, who's also 8 and 9. And then Kansas does not have the tiebreaker over Utah, Iowa State, Arizona State, who are all 9 and 8. Kansas' final game of the regular season is Saturday at 5, FS1 at Oklahoma State, who's one of the 6-loss teams at 11 and 6. So that's another great option for Kansas. But yeah, very interesting, because if you're the 7 or the 8, then Kansas does get the single bye, doesn't have to play until day 2 of the Big 12 tournament. If you're the 9, 10, 11, 12, then you have to play right away, and you have to, if you want to win the tournament, win 5 consecutive games. So a lot has to break Kansas' way. But again, you got to think that they're at least climbing on the first 4 out. Maybe they're the first team out at this point, but they could be in the field after a top 20 win.
So I think if you have a top 20 win, I think that you're out of the first 4 out. All of a sudden, you're in the last 4 in. I think that this game brought them up, and then Oklahoma State is going to be the deciding factor. If you go into Stillwater and beat a J.C. Hoyt team,
you got to be in.
You got to be in at that point. And look, Kansas, there's a lot of games that they want back, right? That's not crazy to say that there are a lot of games where you absolutely want those back. But it's not about how you start. It's kind of about how you finish. It's a little bit about how you start. Kansas started off really good too, but not conference play. Conference play really got Kansas kind of snake bitten there, and you know, they're turning the tides a little bit. Hopefully it's just not too late. Hopefully they're able to figure this out. Hopefully they can go down to Stillwater, beat Oklahoma State. They can beat a couple of teams in the Big 12, because we know that we've been saying this all year, and I feel like we're beating a dead horse at this point, but we know that they have the talent to be able to be a solid team, right? During non-con, I was thinking, hell, this team they have the opportunity to be like a ranked team at the end of the year. All of a sudden, they, just went on this crazy losing streak in conference play. They lost a bunch of games where they shouldn't have. Every single game felt like it was just super close, and Kansas just wasn't able to finish it out, and you felt really bad about that, but they're playing good basketball right now, and I think that's really important, and I think that they're going to maintain this momentum heading into the Big 12 conference tournament.
So again, when you look at it, 3 teams 9-8, ASU, ISU, Utah. 3 teams 8-9, Kansas, K-State, BYU. Well, let's just look at what's coming up this weekend. Colorado faces BYU. Kansas is at Oklahoma State. Arizona is at Utah. And then Sunday games, Cincinnati, West Virginia, Iowa State, K-State. So one of those teams is taking a loss. You also have Arizona State, Texas Tech, UCF, Houston, and Baylor, TCU. That'll be a good one in Fort Worth. But Iowa State, K-State, the only team pitting a 9-8 or 8-9 team against each other. Theoretically, you would want K-State to win that game to make both teams 9-9. But again, the most important thing is that Kansas gets a win, not just for seeding purposes, for bye purposes, but for resume purposes. And it's much better right now looking at that record at 18-11 after a really tough stretch. Kansas was 3-8 in Big 12 play, and now they've won 5 of 6 and squarely in the bubble, as we've talked about. So exciting win for them. Happy for the 4 seniors that got honored to win their final game at Allen Fieldhouse. Now can they get it done on the road and take some momentum into hopefully the Big 12 tournament and the big dance. After this, we're going to go back to the Allen Fieldhouse media room and revisit KU Houston from Monday night one more time. Behind enemy lines, we'll hear from Houston head coach Kelvin Sampson on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, and KansasNation.com.
What's up, everybody? Dan Peterson. Everybody go check out KansasNation.com.
Listen up, guys. Summer is coming, and there's no better time than right now to ignite your health and feel your best. Whether you're chasing peak performance, trying to reignite intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health Lawrence is your calling. Situated in a plush man cave setting, their services for testosterone replacement therapy, ED, vitamin therapy, and weight loss are sure to give you the boost you need. Make an online appointment today by searching for Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Step up your game in 2026 with Game Day.
Go all electric in a 2026 BZ for 0% APR. Built to move you, designed to electrify. Low APRs for 2026 Camry and Tundra models.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
Well, if your name is Sam Lance and you're watching, it might be a time to avert your eyes as we're going to go back to Allen Fieldhouse media room. Again, great kid. Absolutely great kid.
You ever seen anything like Melvin Council?
But you will hear when he asks Coach Kelvin Sampson if he's seen a player as fast as Melvin Council. That
you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's not just the response to that question, but moving forward as well, as Johnny Jayhawk kind of took a tough one. But hey, let's relive that 69-56 Kansas over Houston. Kelvin Sampson not too thrilled that his Cougars lost 3 in a row. Also not thrilled about their schedule, as if Kansas doesn't have to face even more teams that are highly ranked than Houston. But anyway, we'll go back and hear if you think it's also sour grapes from Kelvin Sampson. Here, post-game, the KU win.
Coach, just the atmosphere tonight in this game and how everything played out.
Same old atmosphere. I've been here many times. This is one of the great cathedrals, great fan bases in all of basketball.
Joseph in the back.
Kelvin,
What they did defensively and
Yeah, well, you know, we've had a lot of great defenses, and just like the start of the game, we felt like we could get CNAC open at a 3-point line, and we did. But you know that old scoreboard up there keeps track of points. It don't keep track of open shots, and we had a lot of them. Some nights you don't. But you know, when I saw the schedule come out in September or October, whenever it did, and I saw that we had to go to Ames, Iowa on Big Monday. And then on Saturday, we've got to play Arizona. And then 48 hours later, we've got to go to Fog Allen to play Kansas. I was proud of my guys tonight. You don't go through this gauntlet like we just did. Now we didn't play very well, and we had an opportunity on Saturday, but I knew this was going to be a hard game for us after that Arizona game back in October. It's going to be a hard game for anybody that's got to play at Iowa State, Arizona, at Kansas, especially the Arizona-Kansas turnaround from a Saturday, Monday. So I told our kids back there, hey, look, I'm proud of you guys. We got down, we were up. We didn't finish the half very good. Peterson made a couple of tough shots. Down 4, come out, took the lead. I can't remember if we took the lead or not. Maybe tied it. I cut to 2, whatever it was. And then we got some good looks and just didn't make any shots. Sharp, Sharp's the one. He guarded his butt off. I think he played 35 minutes on Saturday. Milos played 38. That's why I took them all out with 8 minutes to go. They just had no legs. They were done. But that's the schedule we had to play. But that group that finished the game, Fleming's freshman, CNAC freshman, Mercy might as well say he's a freshman because he didn't get to play last year. Chase, a freshman, and then JoJo. I just like their scrap and like their spirit. We've got 3 games to finish up the Big 12 schedule. We're going to try to finish as good as we can. I think these 3 games, even though we're disappointed we lost them, it's not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. I think we can take these opportunities to help us in March and get better. But I don't know if anybody had to play 3 straight games like this. We're up 10 at Iowa State with under 8 to go, chance to win, didn't win. We got a lead in the second half against Arizona, chance to win. Tonight we just ran out of steam. We just had nothing down the stretch, and it takes nothing away from Bill's kids. But I kind of knew what we were coming in here for. Yeah, I knew Bill's kids were going to be really, really, really excited to play against us tonight, and I wish we could have given a better performance. Disappointed we lost, but I am not disappointed in our effort.
Second row.
What's the message like with JoJo? Just the consistent foul trouble in the first half. Feels like you're.
That's a great question, man. Pissing me off. You asked me. It's a great question.
Feels like you guys are a really good offensive rebounding team.
Yeah, but you know what? JoJo's a lot like one of those old gunslingers, like Daryl LaMonica and Kenny Stabler and Jim Plunkett and Sonny Jurgensen and Billy Kilmer and Johnny Unitas and dudes play all game. They get two little bars in front of their face. They'll throw 3 or 4 interceptions, 6 or 7 touchdowns. But if you try to take away their interceptions and make them be more pinpoint or not nearly as aggressive, they're probably not going to throw those touchdown passes either. That's probably a bad analogy. But it's hard to get JoJo to not play aggressive. And a lot of his fouls are probably unnecessary. And we've really worked, and believe it or not, since his freshman year, he's gotten a lot better. Like he played almost, I don't remember how many minutes he played in the second half. Well, I can tell you, 24. So he played 14 in the second half, played 10 first half. But we're a much, much better team when he's on the floor. I mean, you go back and look at the game when we beat Duke. He was the best player on the floor the last 5 minutes of the game. He's really important to us. And when we get back into March, you know, we get more of a normal schedule. You know, this is like playing Oklahoma City. Who's the top teams in the West? Rockets are, right? Rockets are in there, right? So who is it? Oklahoma City? Spurs, yeah. Spurs on Monday. Oklahoma City on Saturday. Turn around and play whoever. I'm going to go with Marcus Sasser's Pistons team. Shout out to Marcus Sasser.
We'll go here front row, left middle. Coach, what was your plan on Darren coming into the game, and how do you feel you all stuck up?
He has some hard shots. He's always going to do that. You know, if you're playing against him and he takes 14 shots to make 14 points, that's probably a net win.
Coach, Melvin Council had a lot of plays, you know, just kind of taking the ball, sprinting down the court, finding shooters. His end-to-end speed, have you seen anything quite like that? You know, anybody who compares to him, and what you make of
I've seen somebody faster. It's called Jamal Shedd. Did you ever see him? It's pretty good. So, yeah, I've seen something like that before. But that's not to take anything away from him. You're not a Kansas fan, are you?
Former Kansas graduate.
God, it's a coincidence.
I'm a national reporter. So.
Yeah, but you're still a Kansas graduate. So the fact that you said, have you ever seen anything like that? That just reeks of Jayhawkness. So the answer would be, yes, I have, but he is impressive. He has a lot of great intangibles. You can tell Bill, you know, I haven't seen Kansas a lot this year. Not nearly as much as you obviously have seen him. But I saw him, you know when I saw him? I saw him against North Carolina State. Was that before Christmas? Yeah, I wasn't aware of him. But he was not supposed to be a shooter, right? He made 9 threes in that game. That's what I remembered about him. But you know, when we were getting ready for Arizona, I watched him against them when you guys beat Arizona here. He's tough. He's tough. The kid that really played well for you guys that I think is a difference maker as you get to the NCAA tournament is White. And his ability, with his size and ability to make, I mean, he shot it well. And, you know, I mean, you guys were 18 for 20 from the free throw line. And what was he from the threes? 3 for 4. He made some big threes, kind of got separation. But yeah, but I was proud of my guys. I you know, we're not going to go jump off the bridge because we lost this game. It's after the game on Saturday, I knew what we were walking into tonight. But I was really, really proud of our guys. I took Milos and Emmanuel out for a reason. They had nothing. They were dead. But Mercy, Chris, they just kept battling, you know, and you know, Kansas is one of those teams that you just never know, but they're pretty good. But so are we. We're pretty good too. Maybe not tonight, but we're pretty good.
Coach, start of the second half, Kansas sort of starts grabbing rebounds and getting out and running. What kind of effect do you think that has on the team?
Yeah, that's it's usually probably every team that comes here, one of their keys to victory is keep them out of transition. Traditionally, when we've beaten them in when we beat them in Norman, that's probably, I said Norman, Houston, I'm sorry. I get back to my Big 12 days when I come here. But at least I'm not like you, Johnny Jayhawk. But when we've done well against them in the Fertitta Center, that's usually why we don't let them get out in transition. We keep them in the half court. If you keep them in the half court, then we've always our half court defense is usually pretty good, right? So we've been able to win those battles for that reason. But when they get out and run, it's hard to keep them in the half court in this gym. They're really good at that. They always have been.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Coach.
Okay.
Well, that press conference was brought to you by Johnny Jayhawk, as Kelvin Sampson didn't take to the Sam Lance question about Melvin Council and his speed, bringing up Jamal Shed immediately. And, I get what Sam was trying to do, just trying to pump up Melvin and more so ask how difficult it is to defend him. But Kelvin,
he probably could have phrased it maybe better, but it was a good question, right? Yeah. And I think Kelvin Sampson viewed it as a why don't you give Melvin Council compliments right now? And Kelvin was like, well, no, I'm not gonna I understand that Sam does good work for Field of 68, but I don't know. I like you said, there's a little bit of sour grapes, and in that press conference, he also talked about how we just didn't shoot the ball well. It's like, well, why didn't you shoot the ball well? Like, give more credit to Kansas's defense, because they were not allowing open shots for any of the guards, right? Miles Uzon did not have a good game. Manuel Sharp did not have a good game. Kingston Flemings was probably the best, and he was putting up crazy shots, like very well contested shots.
It's worth mentioning again that Flemings and Sharp, to your point, 7 of 28 from the field. I mean, Houston's not going to win, and as we've talked about with this Houston roster, and Greeny and I actually went on a little bit of a tangent on this roster compared to last year for the Cougars as well. They don't have Jawan Roberts in the middle. Jawan Roberts, not the most athletic, bounciest guy, but a really good, big, really good offensive guy. And they don't have that. Tugler's not a good offensive player. No. He's just not. I mean, he's a good offensive rebound. He's great with the tap outs. Houston loves doing that. Chris Sinak's a good offensive player, but he's a stretch. And he's more of a stretch than an inside guy as well. So they rely heavily on their guards, who are probably better than last year. Like, you'd probably rather have Flemings than Cryer. But you are giving up some veteran leadership when you bring in freshmen and Sinak and Flemings to your starting lineup, and you no longer have Cryer and Roberts. So that's a factor. But Houston relying heavily on its guards, 32%. And that was part of the game plan that Bill Self talked about is, hey, Sinak shooting threes, we got to give something up. We're okay with that. He's at 33%. We don't want to get beat by Flemings and Sharp.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you go ahead, let Chris Sinak decide it's Chris Sinak time from the three-point line. Go ahead. That's fine, right? But you shut down the guards, and that's exactly what Kansas did. And I just feel like Kelvin Sampson did not give enough credit to what Kansas did in that moment, was completely shut down their guards. Like you said, I mean, really the story, when you look at it, Emmanuel Sharp and Kingston Flemings, like you said, they went 7 for 28, but also a big story, Emmanuel Sharp went 1 for 10, right? I mean, Kingston Flemings went 6 for 18, Emmanuel Sharp 1 for 10. Miles Uzon didn't put up a lot of shots either. He only put up 7 shots. He went 3 for 7, which is a little bit better from the field, but still, he only finished his game with 7 points, right? You completely shut down their guard play, which I think was the most important thing. They were not getting open looks. That's why they were shooting poorly, right? Kelvin Sampson said, oh, well, we were shooting poorly. Yeah, because you had a guy in your face. Because Kansas's defensive plan was so good that they were completely limiting you. Right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. So, again, I do think it's a little bit of sour grapes. And look, Kelvin Sampson is a fantastic coach. I think he is going to be a Hall of Famer. He should be a Hall of Famer this year. If not, it's going to be next year, right? I know he's in the running or whatever to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. But yeah, I just think it was a little bit of sour grapes there after the game, and I don't think he wanted to admit that Kansas was just the better team defensively.
Absolutely, they were just the better team that night. And Big Monday, it's tough to come into Allen Fieldhouse and do that. People are trying. I don't know if you've seen. People are trying nationally to make it. Oh yeah, you can't beat Kansas on Mondays. What's going on with them on Saturdays? It's like, okay, so on Big Mondays, Kansas is what, 3-0 this year. So you're 8-4 on every other day in conference play. I mean, don't freak out about it. Don't try to make a ridiculous thing like that. Yes, they've lost more games on Saturdays than they have on Mondays, and they don't lose on Big Monday. They don't lose on Mondays in Allen Fieldhouse. So there is that factor. But yeah, it was clear that Houston was probably not at their best, but Kansas had a lot to do with that. Kansas had the Saturday-Monday turnaround as well. And the fact that KU was so locked in, Dan, defensively is what has to make you feel good about this team moving forward. We didn't see that. You didn't have the intensity against Cincinnati. You just didn't. You had it against Arizona, and you had it against Houston, where you felt like every possession they were forcing these guys out. Everything was uncomfortable. Bill Self says it all the time. Make the opponent play poorly. They were uncomfortable. They played poorly, and that was not the case for Cincinnati on Saturday. That's going to be the key for Kansas to have success.
When is the last time Kansas lost on a Monday? Because I have it in my mind is probably when it was.
On a Monday.
Any Monday.
On any Monday.
I mean, the 2012 national championship.
No. We would have lost Big Monday on the road. We've lost Big Monday on the road.
Oh, I thought it was I thought it was 41-0 all time Big Monday.
No, at Allen Fieldhouse. Yeah, at Allen Fieldhouse. Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, did we lose in Big Monday at Baylor a couple years ago?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there've been 7 or 8.
For some reason, I just thought it was 41-0 all overall.
In the fog.
Okay.
In the
all right.
fog.
Never mind then.
Next up, KU Arizona, and we'll talk about this in detail tomorrow, of course. But Koa Pete didn't play. He hasn't played for a while. Tommy Lloyd, after the Wildcats win against Baylor, did give what Wildcat fans would consider, I would think, a optimistic outlook on Koa Pete. So we'll see, but Lloyd said, I think we hopefully have some reinforcements coming soon, which they'll be welcomed. He would be a great reinforcement. I've got nothing confirmed, hopefully nearing the point where he'll be able to play soon. So not a lot of specifics on that front, but Arizona's not as good without Koa Pete. Kansas did a great job on Koa Pete a couple Mondays ago in Allen Fieldhouse when the Jayhawks won 82-78. But Arizona, they're a loaded roster. KU's probably going to be, I have no idea, 7-8 point underdogs. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But Arizona, a team that controls its own destiny. If KU wants a slice of the Big 12, they're going to have to win on Saturday.
Yeah, 100%. Right. And, you look at Koa Pete and just what he's done this year, that is going to be huge if he doesn't play against Kansas, which all signs are pointing to he's not going to, right? And they still have Toby Awaka, who we know is a really good player, but there is a little bit of a drop off there in terms of talent, right? I think that when you look at Koa Pete versus Toby Awaka, I think that there's a big advantage, especially with Bryson Tiller and Flory Badunga down low. So you feel good about it. Obviously, it's at the McHale Center. They're going to be all fired up. They're fighting to hopefully maybe get back into a 1 seed, right? I don't know if that's going to be possible. It probably will be possible for Arizona to be able to do that. A lot of things have to happen, but at the same time, Kansas, with their game plan going into that game in Allen Fieldhouse, they played that perfectly as well. They got off to a hot start, Arizona did, and then Kansas really was able to limit their big men. And I think if Kansas is able to do that again, if Flory Badunga comes up big, if Bryson Tiller comes up big, if Trey White's able to rake in some rebounds, not allow those second chance opportunities, and you shut them down from the guard spot, I think Kansas is going to be able to throw a bone at this.
It's going to be a rare situation where Kansas is not viewed as the better team and they're not viewed as the favorite. And perhaps KU can use that as...
Well, we already beat them this year.
Yeah, perhaps KU can use that as motivation. They've done that a lot this season where they've been underdogs and they've found a way to answer the call. That's going to be the case again. And they're not going to lay down just because everybody thinks Arizona will get them back. And yeah, they got us at their place. We're going to get them at our place. This KU team isn't wired that way. So excited for that. That's Saturday at 3. Coverage on the Jayhawk Radio Network starts at 1:30. On the call for that game will be the voice of the Jayhawks, Brian Hanni, and he's going to join us here in the Kansas Nation studios after this. ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com.
Miles Cheniere's Crown Automotive, founding partner of Kansas Nation. Visit them at crownautomotive.com. Experience the Crown difference. Carfax top-rated dealer, Crown Automotive.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Joslin's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin's Jewelry, for the best that's yet to come.
Listen up, guys. Summer is coming, and there's no better time than right now to ignite your health and feel your best. Whether you're chasing peak performance, trying to reignite intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health Lawrence is your calling. Situated in a plush man cave setting, their services for testosterone replacement therapy, ED, vitamin therapy, and weight loss are sure to give you the boost you need. Make an online appointment today by searching for Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Step up your game in 2026 with Game Day.
Performance, style, and technology. Check all your boxes in a 2026 Atlas, now 3.9% APR, or get 3.9% APR on a 2026 Jetta, the compact sedan that redefines the standard.
Hello, it's Mark Whitlow from Office Products Alliance. OPA is not just your local office products connection. We have expanded our offerings to network cabling installation, security cameras, door access, and IT services. We all need to keep pace with new technologies. You can trust a Kansas City company that has been your partner for 32 years. Check us out at opakc.com. Supporting local businesses and our community is more important than ever.
Welcome back, Kansas Nation here. Live in the Kansas Nation studio, Sean Kellerman and Dan Courtwright. Going to be joined now by the voice of the Jayhawks, Brian Hanni. BH, thanks for spending some of your day with us. We were talking off the jump about how I know you're bummed you don't get a chance to go to Stillwater and Ames again, but you'll settle for the trip to Arizona. Will you guys, just out of curiosity, will you stay one night in Tucson and then head over immediately after the game to Tempe?
That is the plan.
Cool.
Very nice. Yeah, 4 days in Tempe and maybe a chance to see some Royals friends while we're out there.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah,
I said, while you're there, swing by surprise.
So get this. I guess they're going to be in Tempe on Monday playing the Angels. So Jake Eisenberg, who's become a good friend, and he's going to do what Sean Kellerman's done for me, a guest lecture, since I'm obviously not able to be on campus Monday. Here's the catch. He's going to be sitting next to me on the Zoom while we have our coffee and address the class in person from out there. So that'll be kind of fun. But, it's now the new life and the new reality in the Big 12. You have these 5-day road swings. Last year's, we'd like to forget, didn't go very well out in Utah. I don't know what the team's going to do in terms of any kind of team activity to break up the monotony of 5 straight days out there. My plan is, if we are good enough to get the win on Saturday, I think amongst the broadcast crew, we should have an Iowa State watch party on Monday night and be the biggest Cyclone fans this side of Milton. Sure. If there's a chance that we still have a prayer in the Big 12 race. We'll talk about all that, I'm sure, as the conversation unfolds. But first things first, get that win on Saturday. And then, there are certainly worse places to be stuck for 5 days. We're excited about that. Somebody said it's going to be 90 degrees out there.
Oh, yeah, man.
So as I fight through a little head cold and all the dreary weather we've had back here, can't wait to head that direction.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe Provo and Salt Lake would fit under the category of worst places to be. It certainly was in 2025. We'll have to wait and see how this Arizona trip goes. But definitely excited after the win on Monday. KU's so good on Big Monday in Allen Fieldhouse, 41-0 under Coach Sell. Saturday, would you qualify that as a stinker against Cincinnati? And then how about the way the guys responded against a good Houston team Monday night?
Yeah, that's probably the best one-word descriptor you could put on it. It wasn't stunning. It was surprising. Mm-hmm. Stunning, because I say it's not that, because Cincy had actually won 3 in a row, and if you paid attention, they hit 16 threes in Manhattan 1 week earlier.
Yeah.
If you just looked at the season box score, they were only shooting 32% from 3, and there were a couple of guys that were sub 25% that rose up and hit them versus KU, and you're like, oh. And Bill even said, you don't want to get into a situation with a bunch of dare shots where you're daring them to beat you by sagging way off, because we knew Chomp could hit him. He hit 1 or 2 against us as a member of UCF a year ago.
That's right.
But the scouting report said 21%. You just didn't expect him to clip off 5 attempts and hit 2 of them. And it was one of those nights where everything started snowballing on us, and you didn't see the same defensive tenacity clearly that we saw on Monday. And when the players admitted as much post-game that maybe we underestimated them a little bit, I guess it adds up. So stinker, that's fair. I think that's a good descriptor. But the way they responded to hand Houston their season low in scoring, the Hall of Famer afterwards is wondering out loud to Greg, I can't remember the last time we guarded that well. It's unrealistic to expect that every night. I know a lot of fans probably think, you can just flip the switch and bring that. Now, intensity and want to, as Roy used to say, and energy is a mind over matter thing that you can bring more frequently than shot making, which is unpredictable one game to the next. But it's probably unrealistic to expect that cranked all the way up type intensity, and it's probably fair to expect a little bit of look ahead, even though we try to guard against that. So I think all those factors factored in, and catching Cincinnati at the wrong time. I've done enough Big 12 seasons to know that so much of this is timing. Had we played these guys 3 weeks earlier, we probably win by 25. They'd won 4 in a row when they left Lawrence and had a lead in Lubbock for much of Monday night. So a lot of times it's when you catch teams, and clearly that's not an excuse, but it all factors into a reason why we no longer control our own destiny. And we had this conversation 3 weeks ago, guys, sitting on this very couch, that 4 wins probably wasn't going to win. I'm sorry. 4 wins definitely isn't going to win the Big 12.
If you're listening, Wildcat fans.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Almost lost my glasses. I laughed so hard. 4 losses was probably going to be too much to win it this year. It's not impossible, though. And honestly, it's pretty plausible, a scenario where 2 teams in Kansas and Iowa State that are both Final Four contending teams, could they beat Arizona? Sans Koa Pete, potentially, at least for one of those games. We'll find out. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, that could happen, but it's not likely to happen that they would drop 2 in a row at home. And that's the spot we're in. We made our bed. We got to sleep in it at this point. That's what happens when you don't take advantage of some of those games like Morgantown or at home versus Cincinnati. I no longer put UCF in that category. I know we're Kansas. We expect to win every game. But as their season has gone on, the job Coach Dawkins has done, I mean, that's a tournament team. There's no shame in losing that one. We're bummed we lost that one because we've lost 2 of 3 there. But when I go back and look at where this season was lost in terms of a potential Big 12 title, should we not win it, Morgantown and at home to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But hey, we're not there yet. And if anybody is still hanging on to dear hope and positive vibes that we're going to go into Tucson and win and then watch the Cyclones storm in and possibly pull an upset on Monday, it's me. I'm gonna fight for another one of these things as long as we can stay in the race. For those listening and not watching, I pointed at our last Big 12 championship ring, which surprisingly was 2023.
Shout out Jalen Wilson.
Yeah. We haven't had one since.
Yeah,
there was a time where Brendan Bouchard and the staff that had to pore over your ring design options were literally running out of ways to make them.
Right.
We've done 3 now with the KU Trajan font, and we've done 4 with just the bird.
You got to go circus now, right?
Totally. I mean, they literally, when it was 14 consecutive years of having to come up with a new design, and they would let the seniors weigh in. They're like, hey, guys, in case you noticed out front of your locker room, like, we've already done that design 6 times. Pick something new. Haven't had one of these in a while, so I'm still holding out hope we can get the job done this weekend on a big trip out to Arizona.
Yeah, for sure. And, to your point about the couple of bad losses, is West Virginia's not terrible. And I feel like the story that a lot of people aren't talking about Cincinnati is that this is probably they're not a bad team. This was just a disappointing year for them. I thought they did a really good job in the portal, and I thought they just did not live up to the expectations that a lot of people had. Wes Miller did a great job. You know, he had a couple of really, really bad games there early in conference play, and then, you know, all of a sudden they've gone on a very, very good stretch, and they're a really good team. And like you said, you know, Sham, we knew he was capable of what he was capable of. Now, granted, I didn't know he was going to score 28 points or whatever, but that one still stings. And then, like you said, they were able to bounce back. I wanted to expand a little bit on the Houston game, because looking at the Houston game, we've seen it maybe once or twice this year to where a game plan was put into perfection, right? And Bill talked about this after the game. He said, look, it was to completely shut down their guards and if Kristanak was going to be open on the three, let him have it, right? Let him decide it's going to be Kristanak time from the three-pointer. We're fine with letting those open up. But you look at Kingston Flemings and Emmanuel Sharp. Emmanuel Sharp only hit 1 field goal out of 10. Kingston Flemings 6 for 18. Kansas did an excellent job in terms of defense at the guard position. Just expand on the growth you've seen out of this Kansas defense alone, because Kansas, that's another story that people are talking about, is Kansas has consistently had a top 10, top 15 defense in the nation in regards of KenPom, in regards of, you know, everything. Their defense is really kind of what stands out at this point. And then the offense, it kind of came too. We saw Trey White wake up after throwing away a couple of stinkers. We saw, you know, Bryson Tiller have a good game. Darren is, you know, being Darren, but, you know, I talked a little bit about this on the last time I was on the show about how Kansas did a good job in terms of using him kind of as a decoy and then allowing open shots for other guys. But the defense is really what stands out to me.
Yeah, and wasn't it refreshing to give Houston a taste of their own medicine?
Yeah, oh my gosh,
That's exactly how they've beaten us.
Right.
Well, not including the game we choked away in the last few seconds of regulation and overtime.
Don't bring that up, Brian.
That was a high-scoring game. But otherwise, I mean, Houston's calling card since entering the league has been they bully you on the glass and they stifle you defensively. They suffocate you defensively. This Houston team isn't quite to that degree of some of the previous ones, but still very good defensively. I think their opponents were averaging about 62 a game. And we did to them what they've been doing to most throughout Kelvin Sampson's tenure in this league. And so that felt great. And, you know, the ball screen coverage, as Bill Self said, was about as good as we've had all year. He said to Greg afterwards, I can't remember the last time we guarded that well. And to your point about making it hard on their guards, you know, Kingston Flemings typically has a field day in the mid-range. And it felt like we were 22 seconds into a possession before they even started to drive inside the arc. We were extending pressure 2-3 feet beyond the perimeter. They kept weaving around, switching on the ball screens with guys like Flory who can pick anybody up and make those driving angles and those catches tighter and tougher to manipulate. It was so impressive because it felt like for big stretches of that second half, they weren't initiating until 7 or 8 on the clock, and then you're scrambling at that point to get any kind of decent look. Whereas Cincinnati on Saturday, how many unguarded shots did they get?
I know.
And so I think we really saw the buy-in factor, and we saw, you know, early success feed into sustained success throughout the game where they just were playing with their hair on fire defensively, and that tenacity was contagious up and down the lineup. And then you saw Melvin Council turning defense into offense, just pushing tempo downhill as soon as they got those live ball turnovers. That was awesome to see. So many guys you could point to. Obviously, it's a Trey White legacy game with his 23 points and some of his other contributions, and that probably felt like manna from heaven for him, who'd had a rough month of February prior. But so happy for that young man. Great to see his confidence return. And, you know, back to Bill Self, he and I had an interesting back and forth on Hawk Talk because I brought up the fact that, hey, this is another example where you take a team's premier scorer or shooter, whichever it may be, in this case Sharp, 1 of 10.
Yeah.
Now, we've come to find out he wasn't very healthy, but still, it goes on the list of guys of Toppin and Haggerty and DiBanza, where their efficiency numbers or their scoring totals, and in many cases both, were significantly held below what they were averaging coming in because the Kansas defense tightened the screws. Self refuted it and said, nah, I still remember a guy named Heald getting 46. I'm like, okay, I grant you that. But, like, look at it this year. Their ability to take away the head of the snake has been very impressive. Hasn't happened every time, but it's happened many times. And even going back to the Utah game, their leading scorer, look at the efficiency. There was a stretch there in late January, early February, where we were just locking the other team's top scorer up. In the case of DeBonsa and Haggerty maybe ultimately got his, but he didn't hit a field goal until the 2-minute mark of the first half.
Right.
So we've made it tough on teams, and if you can play that brand of collective defense with a guy like Flory being your leader on that end, yeah, that dog will hunt. That will pack and travel on the road on neutral sites in March where you got to grind it out and do what Bill Self has said 100 times this year, make other teams play bad. That was the picture definition of that on Monday night.
Brian Hanni joining us here in studio as we work through this Kansas victory over Houston on Monday night. Yeah, the most important guy, as Bill Self has talked about in the past, Anthony Roy comes to mind. He was 4 of 14 when Kansas went to Oklahoma State. But there are so many great players in this league, and Kansas, more often than not, this particular group of Jayhawks has answered the call. A lot of individuals we could highlight. I'll ask you about two. Obviously, Bryson Tiller. 11 and 10. He seems when the lights are the brightest. He's as calm and cool, collected as anybody out there. But Darren Peterson, back-to-back games where he plays 30-plus minutes, and we really saw the impact of that, particularly helping guys like White. Council having the ability to drive the lane and kick out to open players because defenses are throwing 2-3 guys at Peterson. Not every defense is going to be as equipped as Houston or Cincinnati to push Peterson out and have the athletes, the talent on that front. But his presence out there has helped this Kansas team from the element of other guys are able to get open shots. Other guys are able to contribute more statistically.
It's a really good observation. I completely agree. And, it's mature on Darren's part to understand that some games are going to be tougher than others, to get some separation. I thought he looked like a frustrated player versus Cincinnati. Felt like 3 or 4 consecutive possessions where he was getting a tough whistle. And Greg and I have talked about this a lot on the broadcast this year. He does not get the typical star whistle that you see. Not that you should, but many times, the touted players that, you're used to seeing force whistles by their explosive first step and their dribble penetration, their ability to get deep within a defense, and inevitably they get the whistle. He doesn't get them nearly as often as some guys might. I think on Saturday you saw a guy that couldn't believe he wasn't getting more help from the officials and very demonstratively pointing out as he was running down the floor, hey, you hit me here, or, hey, where was the whistle there? And there were a couple moments of that maybe on Monday, but I think you saw a guy understand that, hey, even if it's not coming for me freely and quickly as it did in the first half in Stillwater or the first half versus BYU, there's a ton of other ways my presence can help this engine go. And he definitely helped in that regard. It wasn't a game he's going to look back on his 8 months in Lawrence and think of from an individual standpoint fondly, but he had a big smile standing behind Trey White when he was getting interviewed afterwards. It shows you how much he cares about his teammates and loves these guys, for folks that want to debate such things. So that was great, and yet I'd kind of like to see him go off on Saturday, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Easier said than done, but that's one aspect of this revenge trip for Arizona hosting us, revenge for them. They didn't have to see him the first time. And obviously we had the advantage of the greatest home court in all of basketball on our side. Notice I said all of basketball, not college basketball. But the fact that we'll have him, and they might be down a guy, I think we got a great shot on Saturday. But yes, not to move too quickly to that, great to see Trey step up and hit those shots. Bill Self had some great commentary, as he always does, on Hawk Talk. We were talking about Trey on Tuesday and some of the lean times he had in February. I'll use that word. 1 week he'd had the dental surgery and missed a ton of practice. And in a 2-game total, he was 1 of 9, total of 6 points. Throw that week out. But even before that, you weren't seeing him have nearly as much luck in getting to the line, and Bill thought he was becoming too falling in love with the dribble into contact and force yourself into a shot to try to get to the line.
Trey Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah. That's a great comparison. Two things can be true here. It's awesome when the guy that gets to the line the most on your team, 119 times, is also your best free throw shooter and one of the best in the league at 87%. That's a blessing you don't often have. But in Self's mind, this is the other thing that can be true. If you're initiating offense with that as your primary goal all the time, officials catch on to that, and they know you're just driving to draw a foul, and many times you wind up looking foolish if you're selling out to get the whistle. Yeah. I compare it to a batter who is tied up on a pitch and he just kind of half-hearted swings and he looks silly in the batter's box. Yeah. Sometimes when Trey during that stretch would drive in and lean in to get the whistle and they would clear it back and then he'd just kind of like throw the ball straight up in the air and it wasn't even close to the rim, you can end up looking a little silly. And that happened, I think, for a couple of weeks in there where maybe in coach's mind he was committing more to drawing fouls than he was just going to score.
Yeah.
And so Bill liked the fact that on Monday, he took more of what was given and it wasn't in that particular headspace. Now, the other can be helpful. And to be clear, in that same game, it was his ability to get to the line and hit 4 free throws in that 8-minute stretch when we didn't have a field goal that kept us in it.
Yeah.
So I'm not writing it off altogether, but I think the Hall of Famer clearly knows what he's talking about there when he said there's a happy medium or a healthier balance that he needs to remember with his mindset. And I think we saw that. But we saw the whole bag. I mean, you heard my description of his 70-foot pass. I said touchdown Kansas because it felt like a drop in the bucket, back of the end zone from midfield type throw. And that was a lucky guess on my part because I actually went back and looked at it. It was 70 feet.
How about that?
Sometimes you guess it right. But I mean, dead sprint, catches Melvin right in stride, and then to jump off 2 feet and dunk it with all your momentum coming at that point, that was a pretty impressive play on both ends. Trey did that, had a steal that turned into a live ball, score on the other end. I thought he showed us everything you want out of him, and that's the game that hopefully he builds off of. And as we said, legacy game for now, but here's hoping there's something even bigger in what could be as many as 12 games remaining.
Yeah, absolutely, right? And, Trey White, like I said, he kind of woke up. And let's expand a little bit more on KU Arizona. Obviously, that's the game that's coming up on Saturday. You're at the McHale Center. It's going to be a little different. They got a chip on their shoulder, right? We handed them their first loss of the year. And here's the thing. They didn't see Darren Peterson the last time we were out there, or the last time that we played at Allen Fieldhouse. Kansas winds up beating them 82-78. They're going to be fired up for this, but also with Darren Peterson, it's going to change the dynamic a little bit. Give us kind of a preview because they still got a lot of good players. Koa Pete probably not going to be playing in this game. They still got Braden Burries. They still got Krivos down low, right? They still have a number of different guys who are very, very talented, and there's a reason that they're still highly, highly ranked. But give us a preview of what to expect and kind of the mindset of Kansas going into this game, understanding that, hey, Arizona, they're still mad about February 9th.
And they don't want that hypothetical of Monday night that I spoke to earlier to even come into play.
Right.
They want to go for the throat on Saturday because, Sean, you'd have to pull it up. Their final opponent after Kansas and Iowa State.
It is at Colorado.
At Colorado, okay. Yeah. We love Tad, but you would expect them to take care of business there. We love Danny.
Right.
So, I mean, if they're going to be dethroned at, not winning the league outright, it would have to come with losing back-to-back home games, you would expect, if that's going to happen. If it doesn't, holy smokes, we could have a 4-way tie.
Yeah.
How crazy is that, right? Now, Tech and Iowa State
somebody will get a 5th loss there, yeah.
But Houston, Kansas, one of those two, and Arizona. I mean, holy moly. What a great league. I actually think that would be great for our conference.
Oh, I would absolutely love it. I would absolutely love it at this point.
And then, you're talking to bracketologists and saying, okay, well, how many 1s do they get? How many 2s do they get? That kind of thing. But wow, wouldn't that be amazing? And the fact that Kansas, to this point, has far and away the best record against the top 6 teams in the league at 5-1 really is something to be proud of there, too. So back to your comment about Saturday, it is going to be interesting to see, what Darren Peterson added in brings. Krivos remains a huge concern at 7-2, and I think our bigs now are playing with more confidence than they have at any point in the season, and you started to see that breakout coming prior to the Arizona game with Bryson Tiller versus BYU, and then what we saw out of our front court versus Arizona. So we've been gaining on it for a while there. So I like that. The guy that scares me the most, and this isn't rocket science, but how good has Burries been?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Somebody asked me the other day, of all these freshmen that get all the hype, is Burry's the most like steady, dependable?
Maybe, yeah.
With the game on the line.
And I said yesterday, he's like the 10th guy that people name
right?
at this point.
And I'm not saying, you take one guy over another. Darren is still the generational talent. But, man, he came in and put 25 on us on 50% shooting in the fog. The other night with the game on the line in Waco, cool customer, leads him to victory when that could have been very much the other way. He is just poised and smooth, far beyond what you typically see out of a freshman playmaker like that. And for a guy that didn't get half the hype that some of these other class of 2025 guys got, kudos, man. He is to me public enemy number one amongst the guys we have to look out for on Saturday afternoon. So raucous atmosphere. I've been there once before as the voice of Texas Tech. It was not nearly as raucous on that night as what I anticipate it will be on Saturday afternoon with the stripe out that they're going to have and everything at stake for them. But our guys have gone into some great venues this season. This is where scheduling so ambitiously in the non-con and being a battle-tested team, helps you in this case. But, I can't wait for it, man. This is what you hope for, right? I know this technically is the last game of the second to last week, but let's call it like it is. Final 8 days of the regular season, you're still within striking distance. Not many would have thought that when you opened 1-2 and you were darn near 0-3 to open league play. So Coach Self is still my pick for Big 12 Coach of the Year. And if we go out there and steal this one on Saturday, you better be voting for the Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
What a job. With two different versions of this team he's had to coach, and to have them this close in a league this good, truly one of the best coaching jobs he's had in 23 seasons here.
Yeah, which is saying something because he's had a lot and a lot of championships for sure. We'll talk more bracketology next week as probably a little bit clearer of a photo. Right now, I'm seeing Kansas on the 3 line. I think they're firmly on the 3 line. I don't think they should drop down to a 4 if they lose to Arizona, but if you beat Arizona, feel much better about that. And there are some teams right now, for anybody who's interested in bracketology, that have tough games that you should be cheering against coming up. Illinois is at Michigan. Virginia is at Duke. Michigan State tonight is at Purdue. You want those teams to lose because all that matters. The only thing holding back Kansas right now from being higher, because I think they've got better wins, to your point, is the fact that they've got 7 losses, which is more than most teams have, kind of in that same realm. But like
Here's
Houston,
I mean, for your next segment or maybe your next show, when's the last time there was a 1 seed with 7 losses?
Been a while. Was it us?
No, I'm just saying we can look it up.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying we wind up there. But
we have to if we win the next 6, right?
If you won out, including Kansas City, you would be adding at least 4 quad 1 wins. You'd be adding at least 3 top 10 wins, maybe 4 top 10 wins potentially. Certainly 4 ranked wins, put it that way. And you'd be a 7-loss team.
Right.
But holy smokes, you'd absolutely have the number 1 strength of schedule at that point.
Oh my God,
I mean, it's crazy to think.
You have more
that's
good wins than anybody, but absolutely.
I'm not trying to pump you with a bunch of sunshine and rainbows and say all these things are going to happen. But the point is, the opportunity is there, and you wouldn't be altogether stunned if it happened either, because after all, we've been treated as KU fans this year to 3 top 5 wins at home in the toughest home schedule in the history of our program. And for a year that, has had some setbacks along the way, I mean, how many signature wins that in a different year would have been the standalone singular favorite moment. And this year you have a multitude to choose from.
Right. And more than pretty much any other team, particularly in the Big 12. Like you talked about, 5-1 against the other best teams in the conference.
Looks like the last one was Kansas in 2018.
Okay. Yeah.
2018. Okay.
I believe, Kansas 27-7.
Yeah, there you go. So it's
that
doable.
was the year we had the win in Lubbock with College Game Day there.
Yeah, the shot from the hip.
14 straight. Yep, it bounced, banked in.
Underdogs against Duke in the Elite 8. Got it done. Yeah, not surprising with how tough Kansas schedules and how well they generally do. A lot of fun. Brian, have a great trip to the desert and bring home a couple wins.
All right. Great job looking that up so fast. This guy's a whiz. I'll tell you what.
Brian Hanni, the voice of the Jayhawks, joining us here in the studio. More coming up on ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com.
Miles Schneer's Crown Automotive, founding partner of Kansas Nation. Visit them at crownautomotive.com. Experience the Crown difference. Carfax top-rated dealer, Crown Automotive.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. come see us at Jocelyn's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Jocelyn's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Jocelyn's Jewelry for the best that's yet to come.
We have a great selection of vehicles here. What's the best fit for you?
Maybe something a little smaller. Maybe just a little bigger. Getting closer. Perfect. Come experience the Chrome difference.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
Hanni and the Hawks is presented by Jefferson's with 2 Lawrence locations. Home of the best wings in town, 21 signature sauces. You got to check them out. But if wings aren't your thing, how about a burger? They hand patty their certified Angus beef every single day. Also, hand bread their tenders. They make their ranch in-house. There is truly something for everybody at Jefferson's. Go see my buddy Brandon Graham and the entire crew at Jefferson's, either on Mass or Wakarusa in Lawrence, Kansas.
Welcome back. Dan, you get to spearhead this fantasy draft, but first we got to tell you about Central Bank. There's a certain energy that comes with Jayhawk basketball. We didn't get to see you wave the wheat yesterday. The crowd rising together, the band playing, and that unmistakable moment when fans lift their arms and wave the wheat. It's a tradition that represents pride, unity, and Jayhawk spirit. With Jayhawk checking from Central Bank, that tradition does not stop when the game ends. Jayhawk fans can carry their pride wherever they go with the official Jayhawk debit card, a simple way to show school spirit every day. Central Bank is proud to support the traditions and communities that bring people together, and as the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, Central Bank is committed to serving Jayhawk fans with banking options designed for real life, on campus, at work, and everywhere in between. So if you're ready to wave the wheat beyond the stands, learn more about Jayhawk Checking and the exclusive debit card at jayhawkchecking.com. That's jayhawkchecking.com. Central Bank, the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, member FDIC. All right, Dan, what do we got for this draft, and what do we got for our MIAA flipping coin?
Yeah, well, it's just the MIAA flipping coin. It has not changed. I told you this. I sent this to you. Did I bring this up on the show? Or no, I didn't.
I don't know.
On Facebook Marketplace, I found a gold medallion won by Todd Reesing back in 2010 for Big 12 Student Athlete of the Year. And it is like a coin like this. It was $40.
Okay.
And I sent this to you. I said, give me 25 reasons why I shouldn't buy this right now.
And?
You gave me one.
You didn't buy it
because there was a
Mizzou logo. Nobody wants
logo.
That being said,
I reached out.
There's no Mizzou though.
There's a Wildcat on there. Is that the only shirt you own with anything K-State on it?
It would be.
Probably.
It would be. Good character on the shirt though.
Yeah, it's fun. But I reached out and they never responded.
Ah,
I was actually really upset.
You got time.
I know. I got time. I'll reach out again. But so for our draft today, you're cool with doing NBA players. And are we doing current NBA players?
Let's do current.
Okay. So you don't want to go like from
just current.
Okay. Just current. Yeah. That's fine by me. I'll probably have to look more into it. I have a good idea. I have a relatively good grasp on the NBA right now, but NBA players current to play football, and we'll go how we usually do it. We'll go wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, running back, one offensive lineman, and one defensive player.
Yes. Okay. And we're going to have to be relatively quick. So I got this.
So I'm going to flip the MIAA flipping coin. This is from the only game I ever got meaningful playing time in, September 12th, 2019. I played in 3 snaps. 2 of them were victory formation. Sean, I will let you call it in the air. The MIAA is heads. The football player is tails.
All right. Give me tails.
Now,
I can't see it.
It landed, and you said
Elijah,
tails.
come sit where I'm sitting and see if I can see it. I cannot see it, but I get 1-1 overall. Well, I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel here. There's one defensive player, right? And then we've got quarterback, wide receiver. We've got
skill position players,
tight end,
and then
running back.
line.
Okay. I'm going to actually take my edge rusher off the jump, and I'm going Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
It's got to be, man.
That's
I considered him at tight end.
So that's,
But,
I mean, I get that.
I mean, you know, he's relatively quick and he's agile enough. Give me Zion at tight end.
Okay. I like that. I like that pick. I mean, he's a big body, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I always said, and again, I'm sure I brought this up on the show before. Zion always struck me as the next Derrick Rose in terms of like injury wise, and I was right about that. And I said I wasn't rooting for this. I can just see it because how large he is and how explosive he is. He's going to be trying to do that stuff when he's 25, 26, 27 years old, and he's going to be blowing out knees left and right. And all of a sudden he's got money. He's going to be eating out all the time. And
we're gonna have to assume these guys are injury free.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's fine.
So that's fair.
No,
So give me a healthy
Zion
Zion Williamson at edge.
I just wanted to say I was right about that. That's a good pick, though. I mean, gosh, he would be so dominant on that side of the ball. I have 2 back-to-backs here, and I'm actually glad you took that. Zion was on my big board. I mean, like you said, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. I'm going to do what everybody has talked about over the last probably 25 years.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and take LeBron on my tight end.
Yeah, people have talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, there was
I obviously considered him, but
was like 2011
age is a factor.
I know, but like 2011, like wasn't there like a lockout and people were saying that he should go to like the Dallas Cowboys and be their tight end.
He's
or
a
something.
big boy.
Yeah, and he was a really good football player in high school too. Yeah. He was like highly recruited for football. That was back in the day when you could do both. And then for my quarterback position, this is going to be one that I don't know if you know a lot about. I'm sure you do because they talked about it constantly whenever he was in college. I'm going to take Jalen Suggs as my quarterback because Jalen Suggs at the quarterback position, he actually won Mr. Minnesota in both basketball and football, and he was a very highly recruited. He was like a 3 or 4 star quarterback.
I have to assume there's a decent amount of guys who were, their state's player of the year or whatever.
Yeah, but not for football and basketball though.
Okay.
He was like the best quarterback in Minnesota in high school, and he was like a 3-star football recruit. And then he wound up going to Gonzaga and being a really good basketball player, obviously, and he's still in the NBA. He's doing a really solid job. But yeah, dude, that's a good pull by me, I think. Just being Mr. Minnesota.
I can't believe that I'm getting this dude. You should have taken him. But at wideout, give me Victor Wembanyama. How do you not take Wemby there? Good luck. Good luck guarding Wemby. He's 7'5".
Yeah, I mean he can high point a ball, that's for sure. Oh man. Okay. No, I like that. I mean, is he fast enough though?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to throw it literally anywhere near him.
I have a good one for quarterback that I don't think you'll pick that I'm excited to tell you afterwards.
Okay. That's fair. And then a lot of decent options. I'm worried. See, I'm pretty young right now with Zion, who's mid-20s, and Wemby, who's obviously low 20s. But this dude still has bounce, and he's got kind of unmatched explosiveness, and he continues that to this day. So at my tailback, give me Brody, Russell Westbrook.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
I was actually going to pick him as my safety.
Ooh, okay.
You know how I think he'd be a monster safety.
Okay,
yeah. So
Man,
RB.
I am
Russell.
already off to a good start, my brother. I'll tell you that much.
I have a literal 3 or 4 star quarterback. Who's going to be throwing them the ball?
That's great. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how.
I got LeBron at my tight end. What do you mean?
LeJean Brames. We'll see how everything unfolds. We'll see how everything unfolds.
God, I had Russ in my back pocket for safety.
Yeah, dude.
That actually really hurts. You know what? I'm going to go. Oh gosh, I don't know if I should go wide receiver or if I should go running back here. Let me look up his height. Hold on one sec. Okay, he's 6'4". So I'm going to go ahead and put him in my running back position. Give me Anthony Edwards.
Okay. I probably would have put him outside.
Yeah, I know. He's fast, too. He just, to me, feels like he would probably run like Isaiah Pacheco.
Okay.
They got the same kind of energy. I don't know. I think he'd be a good running back. I think he'd be good. Like talk about like an option. You know what I mean? Like you have him and Jalen Suggs on the outside running option. Zion. I mean, you think Zion's going to catch him? No chance.
Well, Zion's going to be. Yeah, I mean, Zion needs to be in the backfield before.
Yeah, but you have no
gets
defensive
going.
backs.
That's true, but I've got pressure on the quarterback. I'll tell you that much.
That is fair. That is fair. And then for my wide receiver, I think I'm going to go with a little jitterbug, little slot guy. Give me Trey Young.
Okay, I mean he is going to get broken in half, but. If you want,
come on, he's fast, he's quick, he's got good hands. Plus, I think Anthony.
That's just a terrible pick.
Why?
He's not.
Why is that a terrible pick? I know. He's like a Luke Grimm, Cam Pickett kind of guy. He can find those open spots in the zone. He's got good hands. I think Jalen Suggs finds him quite a few times. I like him at the wide receiver spot.
Okay, so I still need
Victor Wembanyama. That's I don't see him being a good football player.
I need a tight end. I need a quarterback and an offensive lineman, I believe. Mm-hmm. Okay. Man, maybe I'll go up front here. Yeah. I got to go with the offensive line.
Sure.
And see, you want somebody who can move a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably. But you want somebody who can block too.
Yeah. Give me Jokic. I'm going with Nikola Jokic. He's not
O-line?
Yeah, he's not the quickest twitch guy, but he's proven and he has a lot of experience from a horseback riding standpoint as well, to where I feel pretty good about his lateral movement and his ability to go front to back.
Buy that. That's fine.
So, not the most athletic guy, but that hasn't stopped him from having success in the NBA.
That's
more than anybody else.
That is true.
So,
he was actually my dark horse for quarterback.
Okay. Man, and then I need a tight end.
So, but the reason he was my dark horse for quarterback is because you always see him launching those full court passes, and they're always a drop in the bucket.
Yeah,
he's so good at that.
That's a good point. It's a good point.
That's why.
Okay, and then at my tight end, I'm going to actually go with a guy who's a little more.
So you're saving your last pick for quarterback?
He's not as bulky, but he moves really well, and he's got absolutely great hands. Great hands. Big hands.
I know you're
the
doing
claw.
I know.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, that's a
at
good
tight
pick.
end.
That's a fine pick.
Oh boy, this is a bloodbath.
That's a fine pick, but again, he's got to stay healthy.
I said we made that stipulation beforehand that we're not worried about that.
Fine. They're all.
So you got two more, and I
right,
just got a quarterback.
So I need offensive line and I need defensive player. At my offensive line position, I am going to go with the current heaviest player in the
Yusuf
NBA.
Nurkic?
No.
Okay.
Zach Edey. 305 pounds.
On offensive line?
Yeah.
But so much of that is height.
I know. He's got good hands. He's got good size. I think I remember that. Nobody can bully him. He's solid. Why you don't like Zach Edey?
Zion's blowing past him.
I think he's got a good punch.
Zion's blowing past him.
I don't know about that. I like Zach Edey.
All right.
Shout out to Zach Edey. Zach Edey. I got to write this down. And defensively, so you took my defensive player. That actually really stings because I really want. Oh, DJ Burns. What am I doing? Is he in the NBA? No, there's no way. There's no way he's in the NBA. He might be in the G League or something. Defensive guy. Oh, I got it. Give me Lou Dort. 6th man of the year. Solid on defense. And give me him at linebacker. Okay. He's good in coverage. He'll bring the pounding. I like him there, man. Lou Dort.
Interesting poll. Which I'm surprised that
that's a great poll.
I'm surprised that this dude's still available. I kind of think of him as the quarterback of the NBA right now, if I'm being honest. Give me Luka Doncic at quarterback. One of the best passers in the league. He's got good size. He's tall enough and kind of has eyes in the back of his head. Can't really put a price on that. Give me Luka at quarterback. Are we going to put this on social media, our draft?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Why not? Go through it real
NFL
fast.
draft. NBA players as NFL players. I got Zion Williamson at edge, Wemby at wide receiver, Russell Westbrook at running back, Jokic on the O-line, Kawhi at tight end. That may have won me the draft right there. Luka at quarterback. Daniel Courtwright, he took LeBron James at tight end, Jalen Suggs at quarterback, Anthony Edwards at running back, Trae Young, the jitterbug, at wide receiver, Zach Edey up front, and Lou Dort at linebacker. Yeah. Interesting little draft.
Why don't you like? I mean, why don't you don't like that pick?
I mean, it's just
what are the picks you have a problem with? You have a problem with Trae Young.
Your team, you have a top 2 team, and it ain't number 2.
You have a problem with what? Yeah, it's number 1. You said it ain't number 2.
Dang
so it's
it.
number 1. Yeah,
I said that wrong.
Damn straight. Yeah. No. So Trae Young is probably a good wide receiver. Jalen Suggs, great quarterback in high school.
This is great because this is like where you go on a tangent for 5 minutes about each of your individual guys. And,
I would love to.
You reiterate after already drafting them and giving a reason.
I need you go and
you need to talk yourself into it for the next 5 minutes.
Ant at running back? That dude's, oh man. That guy will give you 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's a good running back.
Keep going.
I don't like the fact that you didn't like the Zach Edey pick. He's 305. That dude's he's heavy, hard to move. Now, granted, Jalen Suggs is gonna have to look over him. I didn't think about that. It's not gonna be an issue. I don't know. I'm happy with my team.
Okay.
You got flashier names. I'll give you that. You have flashier names.
I do.
That's fine. Not many people are going to be like, Zach Edey. Oh, he sucks. Yeah, at basketball.
This is the part post-draft where you get emotional and tell yourself
who's Lou Dort?
As to why you
look up Lou Dort. Look up Lou Dort highlights.
Why you have the better squad.
That's the perfect linebacker.
You know what you should do to close out this segment? Tell our listeners, viewers about Game Day Men's Health. Lawrence, Mitch Bales, and his team, fantastic partners of us here at Kansas Nation.
Yeah, Game Day Men's Health. Check them out here in Lawrence. Just Google Game Day Lawrence. If you don't have the energy to spend time with your family, go to the gym, do a great job at work, I urge you to go check out Game Day Men's Health here in Lawrence. They're going to do everything that they can to get you back in the game. That white coat phobia is real, people. Nobody likes going to the doctor. Well, guess what? They're not just any regular old doctor's office. They're a full-fledged medical clinic and a plush man cave-like setting. They're going to get you back in the game. Plus, I don't know why you wouldn't do this. Your first visit is complimentary. It's 100% free. You go, they check your blood, they test everything. They see if you're good. If you're good, that's great. If not, they're going to do everything that they can to make sure to get you back to feeling 100% and feeling back like yourself. Guys, I urge you, go get yourselves checked out at Game Day Men's Health here in Lawrence.
More coming up on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com.
KansasNation.com is presented by Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Step up your game with Game Day Men's Health Lawrence.
Go all electric in a 2026 BZ for 0% APR. Built to move you, designed to electrify. Low APRs for 2026 Camry and Tundra models.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Joslin's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin's Jewelry for the best that's yet to come.
Hello, it's Mark Whitlow from Office Products Alliance. OPA is not just your local office products connection. We have expanded our offerings to network cabling installation, security cameras, door access, and IT services. We all need to keep pace with new technologies. You can trust a Kansas City company that has been your partner for 32 years. Check us out at opakc.com. Supporting local businesses and our community is more important than ever.
Every weekday beginning at 6 a.m., Stephen St. John kicks off your morning with New Day with SSJ. Then at 10, get in the zone with Jason Anderson. And at 2, listen to the program with Soren Petro, Kansas City's favorite sports talk. Only on America's largest all-sports radio station, Sports Radio 810 WHB, the power of sports.
Hey, now's the time to get your lawn all prepared for the spring and summer months. Custom Lawn and Landscape. Better lawns start early. If you want a thick, green, healthy lawn this spring, the work starts now. Make sure you schedule an appointment. January, February, prime times for Custom Lawn and Landscape to treat, protect, and prepare your yard before growing season hits. So you're running out of time in terms of lawn preparation. Give them a call or check out CustomLawn.com. You can book online at CustomLawn.com. Spots do fill fast in the winter months, so get that done, and you'll really, really not regret that. So big shout out to our partners over at Custom Lawn and Landscape. Again, CustomLawn.com. Dan, bracketology. I opened the show yesterday talking about CBS updating their bracketology, which they do every day, and I am very appreciative of that as a college basketball nut. But
you're not appreciative of what they did yesterday.
Correct. They had, and I was hoping this was just an oversight for, one guy didn't get his coffee in and just slid Kansas on the floor. I don't know what happened, but KU back on the 3 for CBS. Alongside other 3s are Virginia, Houston, and Gonzaga. So Houston is down to the 3, which that's more appropriate, in my opinion. Houston has only beaten Texas Tech, BYU, and Arkansas of note. They also beat Auburn, but Auburn's not very good this year.
Yeah.
Kansas has way more better wins. They've beaten NC State on the road. They beat Tennessee, and then they beat Houston, Arizona, Iowa State, Texas Tech, BYU. Kansas does have 7 losses. That's the only thing holding them back because other teams, as I said when Hanni was on, don't have as many losses. But still, Kansas should firmly be on the 3. They are on CBS. They also are on ESPN right now. And I guess the question is, what happens after Saturday? Should Kansas win? Does Kansas jump up to a 2? If Kansas loses, do they fall to a 4? Do you have any thoughts on that? Because if you're looking at it, again, most of these teams that are around KU only have 5 losses. A couple have 6. And there's something to be said about that. And you feel good about the March schedule for Kansas. And then you got at Arizona State and K-State. But still, the strength of schedule, the quality wins that KU has, as good as anybody's.
I think that let me start with the floor. So if you lose to Arizona, let's just, for the sake of, because the game is play the game, right? Let's say Kansas drops their last 3. They lose to Arizona, they lose to Arizona State, they lose to K-State. Not saying that's going to happen. I think the floor is maybe the lowest 5 seed right there. I think that they drop 2 spots if they lose all 3, right? That's the floor. Ceiling, now it all depends, right? If, let's say Arizona, they drop to Kansas, they drop at home to Kansas and at home to Iowa State. Those are 2 really bad losses for them, especially because they're at home. I don't think that'll happen. Let's say Iowa State loses 1 more. Let's say Tech loses another one. I think that the ceiling for this team is the second 2 seed, if that makes sense, right? So they're sitting right at the number 6 overall team. Is that not? Is that crazy to say?
If you're going to say that there's a possibility that we lose 3,
I'm not saying that there's a possibility. I'm saying that's the game. So play the game.
Okay. Then if I'm playing the game, also, if you're going to say in playing the game that we lose the next 3, then I'm going to say that we win the next 6. If we're playing the game, okay?
And if we win the next 6,
you're not
if we win
lowest,
if we win the
second
NCAA or
2.
win the Big 12 tournament,
you're a 1 seed.
You think you're the 1? Yeah,
you're a 1 seed. You're not. Yeah. If you're saying we drop as low as,
I guess I wasn't looking
5,
forward.
and you need to look at the Big 12 tournament as well.
Right.
But,
I didn't even think about it. I was just thinking. I was looking at the next.
Okay.
I was looking at regular season. Where the regular season ends, I think Kansas ends the regular season at the 2 seed, and then the Big 12 tournament is its own monster where Kansas could work up to a 1.
And of course, so much of this depends on what other teams do.
Of course. Yeah, there's a lot of other things that have to happen.
What do you think in terms of Saturday? Do you think Kansas, if they get a win, that's good enough to jump them to a 2? And again, understanding that it depends on what other teams do. But is that good enough? And then if Kansas loses Saturday, given the fact that that would be KU's 8th loss, do you think that drops them to a 4? Again, CBS had them as a 4 yesterday before quickly putting Kansas back on the 3, where they've had them pretty consistently.
Yeah, look, I think you look at Arizona, they're a 1 seed right now. If they lose to Kansas and then beat Iowa State, I think, might drop from a 2 to a 3, which leaves one of those spots open, right? So in terms of Saturday, I don't know if Kansas can jump up to a 2 if they beat Arizona, just because some other things have to happen, right? I think Purdue's pretty locked in at a 2.
But I
think Iowa State, as of right now, is locked in at a 2. Houston is also at a 2 right now, even though Kansas, we talked about this, has a better better resume than Houston. And then Illinois, I think, is locked in at that 2 spot. So I think more things have to happen aside from just Kansas winning at Arizona.
But I'll use 2 programs that you just mentioned, Purdue and Illinois. Purdue tonight faces Michigan State at home.
That's true.
Illinois faces Michigan at home.
Yeah.
Those are top 15 teams also, just like Kansas has. So I don't, I guess if everybody loses, everybody stands pat. If everybody wins, everybody stands pat, I guess. Yeah. But there's a lot of moving pieces. Virginia has a really good record at 25-3, but their resume is not very good.
But what I'm saying is
that to lose to Duke if you're a Kansas fan.
I'm saying if Purdue winds up winning and Illinois winds up winning,
then
I'm just saying
Kansas will probably stand pat.
Yes,
right.
They will stay at the 3 line even if they beat Arizona. I'm saying more than one thing has to happen, and that one thing is Kansas beating Arizona. Purdue also has to lose. Illinois also has to lose. Iowa State has to lose at Arizona, I would say, for Kansas to be able to jump them.
And CBS, again, to make this clear, the 2s that CBS has, Iowa State, Illinois, Purdue, and Florida, who beat Texas and Austin last night. ESPN has Purdue, Iowa State, Illinois, and Houston.
Yes, I was looking at that. Yeah.
Is the 2 still, which I think is, again, ridiculous. They're 23-5, and they don't have very many good wins. But for what it's worth right now, Kansas is on the 3 line, both CBS and ESPN. This will continue to update, and next week after this weekend's action, we're gonna be really close to kind of knowing what the bracket's gonna look like, knowing that there's still 1 week and conference tournaments and all that. But this is a big weekend, highlighted by a lot of those matchups that we talked about.
I will say the 3 that Joe Lenardi has us at right now in our little bracket, he has us in Greenville, not in St. Louis or Oklahoma City. Not that that matters, because obviously that could change. But
Lenardi doesn't look at that as closely as the actual
But Lenardi has Louisville as a 6 seed. They could be challenging. They have Mizzou and Santa Clara as the 11s.
Yeah.
And then as a 14, get peed on, Austin P. They're good. They're 21-7 right now. They're playing good basketball.
On
That's
CBS,
not the 14 seed you want to see.
Navy, North Dakota State, East Tennessee State, and UC Irvine. Those are all going to be conference champions. Whoever wins those respective conferences, those are who's leading the conferences right now. 11 seeds right now, just kind of looking in that first pod, should Kansas end up as a 3 seed. A lot is going to change, but Texas A&M, TCU, Santa Clara, and California are who CBS has. For the record, they have Mizzou as a 9, does CBS. And then the 6 seeds to close out the pod on CBS, St. John's, BYU, who Kansas wouldn't face in the second round because they're in the same conference, North Carolina, and Kentucky. So that's a lot of fun. If
Those are
Kansas
awesome.
beats Arizona
That's crazy.
and those other teams that we talked about, in particular Purdue, if they lose tonight to Michigan State, or if they lose this weekend, or if Illinois loses to Michigan, if Kansas beats Arizona and one of those things happen, I have to think KU has a good enough resume to jump up to a 2. But again, the 7 losses
that might be
holding
the best
Jayhawks
group
back
of 6
just a little
seeds
bit.
I've seen in a long time.
At least from a blue blood standpoint. UNC,
standpoint,
UK,
yes.
all that. Hey, after this, we're talking a little KU baseball. Dan will give a few game picks as well. KansasNation.com, ESPN, Kansas City.
Together, we're elevating our potential and opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
performance, style, and technology. Check all your boxes in a 2026 Atlas, now 3.9% APR, or get 3.9% APR on a 2026 Jetta, the compact sedan that redefines the standard.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Joslin's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin's Jewelry for the best that's yet to come.
Listen up, guys. Summer is coming, and there's no better time than right now to ignite your health and feel your best. Whether you're chasing peak performance, trying to reignite intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health Lawrence is your calling. Situated in a plush man cave setting, their services for testosterone replacement therapy, ED, vitamin therapy, and weight loss are sure to give you the boost you need. Make an online appointment today by searching for Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Step up your game in 2026 with Game Day.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
KU baseball picked up a win against Minnesota. Exciting victory. 8-7 gritty over the Golden Gophers at US Bank Stadium in Twin Cities. And we're going to tell you about that. But Dan, tell us about Custom Lawn and Landscape.
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy of mine. Let's just say his name is like John Jellerman. Mm-hmm. And he was saying man, it's really nice to kind of have downtime right now and not have to worry about my lawn. And I said, John, Mr. Jellerman, don't you know that winter is not downtime for your lawn? It's actually prep time. February are when healthy spring lawns are built. Custom Lawn and Landscape, they're scheduling their winter services right now, from soil treatments and pre-emergent applicants to tree and shrub care that protects your heart from harsh cold, I said to John. Don't wait until spring to wish your lawn looked better, I said to John. Start now and enjoy your yard all year long. John, you should call Custom Lawn and Landscape, or John, schedule online at customlawn.com, because Custom Lawn and Landscape is where better lawns start early.
With authority. I'm not letting you do that read again.
Come on. I always have fun doing that one.
John Jellerman. That's a nice touch. 8-7 KU baseball over Minnesota last night. 4 in a row for KU. Dylan Schlotterback and Augusto Mungarieta each hit 3-run homers for KU in the win. So no back-to-back homers, but a couple of 3-run homers. And Mason Cook started the game. He went 4 innings, allowed 2 runs, struck out 4 batters, 6 different Jayhawks out of the bullpen. Bodie Rai, Toby Scheidt, who is going to be used a lot this season. Caleb Deere, Ryan Ritter ended up picking up the win, and Deere picked up the save. Minnesota actually got on the board first with 2 runs in the 3rd innings, couple solo home runs, but then KU would score runs in each of the next 4 innings. Dan Fitzgerald saying he talked about how proud he was of the team, of how they fought, got down 2-0, got up 5-2, 5-3. Kansas 8-5 or 8-3 rather, they were up, and they end up holding on 8-7. So that was big. First of a 4-game set, and now they don't play today, do the Jayhawks, but nice seeing the offense get going. 8 runs, 13 hits rather, and Dom Vagley is going to be on the slab on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, with Dom coming out, and after the performance that he had in his last game, you feel confident about it, right? And Dom has been so up and down, and you want him to maintain this up, right? And we knew him as dominant Vagley his freshman year. Last year, he comes in, preseason All-American, and it really, again, I said this before, there was no gray area. He was either really good and would go like 7 innings with like an earned run maybe and like 9 strikeouts. And then the next game he'd come out go 3 innings, give up 5 hits and 5 runs. And it was just like, it was very much up and down. And Dom, he had a really good outing the last time, need to come out against Minnesota and maintain this momentum because, look, right now, Kansas, they've won 4 in a row. A really solid effort in this first game against Minnesota. You got to clean this one out. And then all of a sudden, you got St. Thomas coming into town. March 5th is the first home game at the Hoagland Ballpark. By the way, be sure to get out there. You can get your tickets at kuathletics.com/tickets. But you got to close this one out, right? You absolutely have to. This is a Big Ten school. Minnesota, I don't think they're projected to be very good this year. Kansas got the job done. And you're seeing a lot of these new faces and a lot of these new names come and kind of emerge. And you're seeing the chemistry start to build, right? Kansas did not get off to a hot start against UTRGV, which, again, they were a really good program. But they've won 4 in a row. You're starting to see this team kind of come to form. And Dan Fitzgerald, I think he's really happy with the way that this team is playing right now and able to gut out that win 8-7. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do, to go into U.S. Bank Stadium against a Big Ten team and gut out that win, right? So, again, Mason Cook did an excellent job. I thought, he had 4 innings, allowed 2 runs, struck out 4, right? Bodie Rai, Toby Scheidt, and Caleb Deere all were really good. But you got Dom on the mound starting today. It's going to be, hopefully a really good outing for him. And then, you can kind of clean out the rest of this weekend with some of those other starters. But I think a good start to this series yesterday, and you just got to get this one out. You got to win 3, hopefully you can win 4, but a tie would be fine. You want to win 3 against Minnesota to have that momentum and to get the crowd amped up for their home opener against St. Thomas.
No game today, so tomorrow vaguely will be on the slab. Friday, Saturday,
Thursday.
Sunday.
My days are all messed up.
Yeah,
my days are all messed up.
But it'll be vaguely on Friday, and then, like you said, the beginning of a 4-game series against St. Thomas next week. 3 of those 4 will be at Hoagland Ballpark. 1 will be in KCK, that being the Saturday game, since KU basketball will kind of take over the Dillon Sunflower Showdown against K-State and KU basketball's senior day. Recap some stats really quick for KU baseball on the season now that we're 8 games in. Jordan Bach leading the team, hitting .448. He's got 13 hits, 2 doubles, 2 homers. Brady Ballinger hitting .378. He's got a hit in all 8 games this season. Cade Baldridge is hitting .300. He is 9 for 30 with a couple doubles. And then Augusto Mungarieta, a guy who's going to be in the middle of the order for Kansas. He has a couple homers. He's hitting .286. Landon Lozier hitting .250. This is the Landon Lozier Revenge Series, similar to what Brady Council had last year when Kansas went up to Minnesota. On the pitching side of things, Kansas has gotten 2 really good appearances out of Matisse Nayral. He is 2-0 with a 1.5 ERA. He's given up just 2 runs in 12 innings. Mason Cook, who again was good last night, he's gone 10 1/3. He's got a 3.48 ERA. He has 10 strikeouts on the season. Madden Seidel, he has 2 appearances. He's 1-0 in 6 innings. And then Vagley has thrown 9 innings in total. He has given up 7 runs. He's got 12 strikeouts. Good opportunity for Vagley to get right against a Big Ten team.
You need
tomorrow.
more offensive production out of these guys. I mean, just looking at the batting average right now, they're batting .262 as a team, which isn't horrible, but it's not good. It's not where you want to be right now. You got Jordan Bach, you got Brady Ballinger, who are upwards of 300. You also got Cade Baldridge, who's right at 300. Everybody else is sub 3, right? You need Tyson LeBlanc. We expected a lot of things out of Tyson LeBlanc this year. He's only batting .167. Dario Osorio, only .167, right? Max Solis Jr., who was on the team last year, who we had a lot of high ambitions for, he's batting .200 right now. Josh Dykoff, .212, right? You need more offensive production out of these guys, and I think it's going to come the more games that they play.
Looking forward to it. KU baseball was a lot of fun the last couple seasons, and we'll have the best coverage of that for you on Kansas Nation. KansasNation.com, the place to be, by the way. Follow us on socials. Kansas Nation on Facebook, at The Kansas Nation, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram as well. That'll do it for Rock Chalk Sports. On tomorrow's show, you will hear from Bill Self, and we'll do a deep dive. KU at Arizona going down on Saturday. Big shout out to Elijah Schmidt running the operations. For Dan Courtwright, Sean Kellerman saying we'll see you then. ESPN Kansas City and KansasNation.com.
KansasNation.com is presented by Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Step up your game with Game Day Men's Health Lawrence.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Better water now, pay later? What's not to love? Hey, it's Bob with Culligan Water. And for a limited time, we're offering no payments and no interest for 6 months on the water you and your family deserve. Our state-of-the-art residential equipment creates water that's purified, soft, and delicious. Contact us today for details and schedule your free consultation online at CulliganKansasCity.com. Culligan, it's water you love.
We have a great selection of vehicles here. What's the best fit for you?
Maybe something a little smaller. Maybe just a little bigger. Getting closer. Perfect. Come experience the Chrome difference.
Hanni and the Hawks is presented by Jefferson's with 2 Lawrence locations, home of the best wings in town, 21 signature sauces. You got to check them out. But if wings aren't your thing, how about a burger? They hand patty their certified Angus beef every single day. Also, hand bread their tenders. They make their ranch in-house. There is truly something for everybody at Jefferson's. Go see my buddy Brandon Graham and the entire crew at Jefferson's, either on Mass or Wakarusa.